And Dave Wilson of Results Staff Social Media. I have a great guest here, right here, Patrick Pinto. He's the CEO and co-founder of BeeSolutions, and we're going to be right back after this message. That part always scares me.
It comes to a stop like a roller coaster.
Yeah, hey, you know, Pat, that only cost me $17 from a gentleman overseas that I work with.
I love it. I love it.
He's very good at it. You know, it takes us only about 30 minutes to make up an ad. I put the images and what my thoughts are, and he puts the music to it. You know, so
it would look like an apocalyptic interview.
I know. Hey, Pat, I wanted you to introduce yourself and what you do, and you're from New York. We know that, but tell us what your company does. And
I'm Patrick Pinto from BeeSeen Solutions, CEO let me backtrack, CMO and co-founder of BSSRPA as well. What BeeSeen Solutions is an umbrella of digital marketing services. From your website build to your SEO, search engine optimization, to your social media, all the channels, to your lead generation, to your RPA, robotic process automation. We have, again, call tracking. We have review management. We have a merchant services division as well.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say,
and what I wanted to ask right off the bat was, and I try to make people understand, is what is digital marketing?
Digital marketing in today's world has replaced the paper advertising, the paper validity of what people used to think. People would buy a magazine and they'd go through a magazine and they'd see content, stuff that was written, and they'd say, oh, there's a sale at Macy's, or oh, there's a brokerage firm I'd like to work with. And the better the read, the higher the quality of the company, people used to assume. The Wall Street Journal had the better ads because it was a thicker newspaper with obviously more content. Your lower demographic, your lower newspaper articles that would be put into smaller newspapers, people considered, oh, that was your dollar painter in your 5 and dime store. And it never worked that way. Digital marketing changed the world because it balanced out the scale. It put all companies on the same playing field. A guy.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I could talk forever. You got to.
No. When did you I know it's 2020, but 2021. I'm sorry. But when did that transformation start? In the early 1990s, and moved its mark way up, or?
It started probably about the mid 90s of when really digital marketing started to take effect. When people realized that I would come and visit you in your office, and I would what we call give you a leave behind. Here's my brochure. Here's my card. Here's information about my company. That changed when people used to shake hands and go, here's my website address. Take a look at it. And you could fill that much more content than just in a little brochure.
Just in a little bit. Let's see. Hey, Alberto, I saw your video today. That was awesome. Alberto did a video today explaining in the staffing industry what their company does. And I've talked to people before, this is what they need to do. A lot of the videos, like he talked about what his company offers, everything like that, instead of just an ad.
Sure.
And, Albert, you did a great job today. I sent you a message, and he's starting to get over to the videos, and it's just working for him.
It always will. It always will.
Pat, I wanted to ask you, and these are just common things in the beginning, is what is graphic designs for smaller businesses? What does that entail?
Well, graphic designs are, I mean, it depends on what you're looking at inside of a company and how you want to present that company and what you want that company to be showcased. It's kind of like television, you know, when you can buy a 3D or a 4D TV and you have that much more of a better picture. When
Right.
you're graphic design, it's really the team behind you that's putting the graphics into the website itself, putting the quality in, putting the better animation or pictures in, as we like to say.
Now, how do you measure that though? How do you measure something like that in your company? Like when I do ads, listen, I mean, I'm doing smaller ads and everything, but colors mean a lot difference, and certain images really help me out a lot. I can tell, you know, even on the social media. How do you discuss that with a company when they meet with you? Like, what do you talk about?
I call ourselves digital doctors. And I say that because a company comes to us with an ailment, whatever that ailment may be. My website is poor. I'm not getting enough traction to it. I don't see the client base I used to see. I'd like to expand my services. Those are you going to a doctor going, my back hurts, my shoulder hurts, my arm hurts. What do we do to remedy it? We'll then do a full diagnostic review. We'll go through all of their digital of what they're currently doing. Let me see how your system is running. Let me see how your website looks. Let me see how responsive it is. Let me take a full look at things. As we do that, we then kind of checkpoint off the missing links of what needs to be corrected and fixed and put into.
What do you find the problems that you see that they're not doing? If you had to just pick something.
I find people build websites and think that they're going to run forever, and they don't update them. They don't bring in all the nuances that need to come in. They don't bring the proper what we like to call, you know, ADA widgets in, or the SSL certificates in. They're not mobile responsive. They're not built the right way, and it's our job to tune the website or rebuild the website.
And that's what I told you, and we just discussed prior to this. I wish I would have in the beginning just give it to an expert that knows. It's just like myself with social media. I know it, you know, and then it's not everybody else to know it, but I wish I just would have done that. It would save me a lot of time and a lot of money.
Well, I mean, what happens again is people look at websites like they've fallen in love with their website. People come to us and go, I built my website 2 years ago. I love it. It's the greatest thing ever. And really, it's like humming along on 2 cylinders when it should be running on 12 cylinders. And we try to show what needs to be fixed. And obviously, we can put it on a better platform for them. We could make it run more efficiently for them. It's the tune-up.
It's the tune. That makes a lot of sense. I looked on there when you talk about SEO and your organic reach is kind of like when I understand organic reach, I think it's just social media. I'm not an expert in the website. But
Sure.
what happens there to get more either organic reach, or what do you recommend, or how do they do that?
I'm going to give you 3 words in SEO that mean everything. And everyone can put this down, write it down, never wash your hand where you write it. It's content is king. The more content you have on a website, not for the human eye to read, but for Google's spiders and robots to look through and value and be able to direct. And that's the concept. You need to have a website that's filled with information. If they're on back pages, it's fine, but you need to layer a website so people can see what's going on. Google spiders and bots can rank you because of that.
That's what I wanted to ask you, and I get a lot of feedback on bots. Now,
Sure.
I like bots personally because if I'm at nighttime, I'm looking at something, I utilize it for that reason because I know they're going to get back to me the next day. You know, when a thing pops up, that's why I use them. You know, but do you get feedback on bots, or some people just don't like them on their websites, or?
Again, it all depends what you're using your website for. If you're using it as a base point of validation,
Right.
then you want feedback on how it's responding. If you're using it as an outreach tool, now when I say outreach tool, somebody searches for your services, something in your industry, an affiliate of yours, whatever it may be, and you come up in that search. Okay, because you want to be able to be found the right way. Years ago, SEO, people used to believe, I'll give you the top 5 keywords And that's what you'll be found for. And people assumed that the entire world searched with those 5 keywords.
Right.
And every other way that you could be found, you weren't being found. So our job is what we're able to do is we're able to now create a more viable tool inside of SEO so that when you search and use terminology, you're found under that terminology. You're not just found under the common keyword that people like to think works.
Now, what I was looking on your site is there, when you do a lot of the blogs, and then you had on here, let me see, blogs of, where I'm at here. You were talking about top authors. Oh, the blogs from influential authors and websites. I didn't know what you meant by that.
The more valued the individual creating the blog, the more traffic that they're going to pull for you.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of almost like an influencer.
Right.
Oh, so-and-so said this. It must have value to it. And now let's kind of jump on that follow train.
And put on it. That makes sense. All right. Want to talk about, gotta say this, lead gen, identifying and engage with targeted connections.
Oh, that's my favorite. I love it.
I know. I wasn't sure. I was like, a lot of the wording here. Listen, I'm just being honest. I don't know it all, and I tell everybody out there, that's why LinkedIn. And I love this show. I told you is because you can learn. I've never heard of that. So,
and we tell people that when you go into marketing, it's not for the faint at heart. Okay, we joke around because there's many moving parts that you need to understand. But we built BeeSeen on common sense. And when I say that, I mean it's a simple process. Tell me what you want. Well, I want to have a company that people can find. Okay, tell me what else you want. Well, I want to get new clients. Okay, so let's build something that solidifies people who know what you do, right, and let's go out and find them. Because years ago, again, in the early days of marketing, SEO was the greatest thing in the world. But SEO was only positioning you when they were ready to find you.
Right.
SEO didn't go out and find clients. SEO just put you in the position when someone looked for one of your services or types of products or what you do, you were one of the people to be found.
Okay.
You still fell into a list of everyone else that's there, but you were one of the people to be found. What the lead generation does is lead generation is when we create a campaign with you as an example, we build the campaign understanding who is your targeted audience.
Okay.
Who do you want to talk to? Give me the size of your company. Give me the volume of individuals in the company. Give me the finances of a company. We can break it down 26 different ways if you'd like, but we want to make sure that when we do a reach out for you, we're reaching out to the right audience. You tell me I want to talk to people that only work in the medical industry. Well, I'm not going to introduce you to people that sell Cadillacs.
Right. That makes sense.
And we do so much work in the staffing and recruiting world. We really do. I mean, we do it across the board. Our systems are very what we call chameleonized. And the best part of what we do is that we can build the product around the client. It's not a one size fits all. Extra large doesn't fit everybody who's a certain size. This is designed for you. It's designed for every type of industry out there.
Well, how do you break it down? Oh, Alberto, I use relevant and personalized information. I mean, I think that really sums it up right there.
Of course.
What would happen? I know you're in the staffing industry also, and that's what a lot of your clients are.
That's one of our client industries that we work with.
What do you, if you're trying to reach, like say a staffing agency, the candidates and for lead generation, is that
100%. We do it now. I call it the double-edged sword. I have staffing firms that come to us and say, I want to talk to all these medical companies because I want to position myself with them so that then when they need candidates, I deliver to them. Or the flip side, they come to us and say, I've got all these companies that are looking for this type of candidate. Can we find this type of candidate? And then we do that for them.
I do that. I wanted to ask you before I get on the next stuff, what are backlinks? I heard I paid for this. I'm just going to be honest. On the Fever app, I paid, I don't know, like $80, and she said she created 20 backlinks.
Backlinks are, okay, if you could imagine a chain link fence, okay? Right. and the center of the chain link fence is the lock, and the lock is your website. Okay, and all of the wires that come off the chain link fence that go in different directions are considered backlinks. They're considered forum searches. They're considered directory searches. Did you ever notice when you go to a website and you're looking at luggage, and then say if you like luggage, you may also be looking for this type of luggage, or this that goes with luggage, or these other pieces that you would want to use. That's the backlinking that you want to do. You don't want to just be found for your services. You can be found on competitors' websites. You can be found across the board.
That's why, so it would match up. That's what when she was explaining to me, different areas where she would utilize the URLs on the website.
Yeah.
What are the next subjects? I mean, I'm just asking because I don't know much about it. RPA and the review management.
Which one would you like to go over first?
RPA, because I don't even know. I'm being honest. I tell everybody this is what's nice about learning, having guests on like this, just learning what it means.
RPA automation is this should be a separate interview that you and I do. So I'll be brief on this. Right. This is a robotic process automation. This takes the mundane jobs of a company that may have a multitude of people that are doing it and reduces it. A bot gets built for them, and it gets put into the company, and it can do the work in a millisecond of the time. I know the banking industry uses it on a regular basis. Accounting firms use it on a regular basis. There are so many different versions of how you can build this bot. What I would love one day is to do another interview with you, and let's just focus on the RPA, because I'm telling you, you'd love it. You'd love it.
If when it comes up, here we go. I'm sorry. The PPC, your drive qualified visitors to your website. PPC again.
That's your pay-per-click campaign.
That's what I didn't understand when you said that. Pay-per-click. What was that?
It's exactly what it means. Pay per click. So you've got your organic search, which is your natural search. Right. Okay. And I'm going to use the military terminology. And first of all, I see the flag behind you. Thank you for your services.
Thank you.
And what I'd use that is, you start out in the Army, and you start out, or in any of the military branches, you start out as what would you start out as
E1 special E1 private.
Okay. And as time goes by, you earn your ranks, you earn your credentials, and you move up. And those lines on your arm show your accomplishments.
Right.
That's an organic search. An organic search is, we do an SEO search for you, and as time progresses and we continue to fight to the top and fight to the top and fight to the top, you now sit in a higher level, a higher ranked, a higher valued position in Google, let's call it. A pay-per-click is, tomorrow I decide to open up a catering company, and I decide that I want to sit right on top. Well, I find out how much the highest pay-per-click is, and like the stock market, I buy that stock, so I sit on top. And
so that was years ago, right? That was, I mean, when you say Google pay-per-click, I remember this was years ago, even with a basic DJ business that I had, is you have to pay.
Yeah.
Is it still that way now with Google?
Yes. It's a digital, it's literally like the stock market, because I come in and I find out that your clicks are running at $1.50 a click. And I'm like, well, I want to sit in front of David. So I'm gonna up my ante. So now my clicks are more money, but I'm higher than you. But as soon as my clicks run out, I disappear off. I literally wash myself off. It's not like I drop down. I just disappear.
Right. And it's basically just like my next subject coming up is, how do you utilize the social media in that part, like between the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest that I see on there? How do you get that all involved with the website? Is there a certain way?
Yes, absolutely. It's very strategic. It's very mapped out. If you, again, in a military approach, years ago when they used to have those maps on the table and they were moving troops around, well, digitally it's done the same way, but they do it on a screen now. They look at a website and they say, okay, we want to target certain audiences inside the social media world. Now we're targeting them not for leads, we're targeting them for brand recognition.
Brand.
So you want to be found when you're going through your news feed on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, wherever it may be, and you see an ad that comes up. that ad it's not trying to sell to you. It's just trying to acknowledge to you that this is this individual, this is what they do, they're highlighting some of their accomplishments or accolades.
So when you say with the social media there is, I've been trying to break the URLs down. Like if I wanted somebody to find an employee for a candidate that's looking for, I have an employee section where they can fill out. So is it good to split off the URLs for each tab? You know what I mean? Like to advertise what you want. If you're looking for clients, you have a URL for that on your website. Or is it just drive them to the website? Does that make sense?
Well, every time that you build a page on a website and you add content to it, you could build endless pages. If you were looking for, I'm using the analogy for phlebotomy,
Right.
okay, you could have a page built for that. If you were looking for mechanics, if you were looking for accountants, if you were looking, whoever you're looking for, okay,
Right.
dental hygienists, whatever it is, you're gonna create the page,
Right.
you're gonna have it there, and then you're gonna create the back content so that when people search, they find that on your website.
All right, that's what I was trying to see how that would blend in, because I've been splitting it up, by each URL. I split it up all over. It depends on where I wanted them to go. And
Well, again, but you want to drive them back to your site. And if you only have a page out there, you're only driving them to that one page. You want to drive them back to the bigger book, which is your website.
The website. What do you see the most when a staffing agency comes to you? What do you see the biggest hurdle that they're challenged with?
In today's world, it's a 50-50 split. I've got plenty of our clients, our staffing clients, that come to us and say, I need more companies that I work in this industry, in this vertical, whatever it may
Right.
be, and I want to sell to more companies in this vertical. Not a problem. We do that search then. Now, at the same time we're doing that search, as we start to build their client relations for them and put these new people in positions for them, they
Right.
then come back to us and say, I got all these companies, now I got to fill seats in those companies. How do we do that? And we do that same search for them on the other side.
On the other side, and you do small business all the way up to large corporations, right? I mean, you help small businesses also.
We love to work with small businesses because we love to see them grow, and understanding that everybody starts out as a small business.
Right.
Or in the first year only sold 25 bottles. So we know that there's a growth pattern for everyone. We try to help with the growth pattern. We try to put them in the right direction. Many times new companies start out and they're spit shooting all over the place to try to figure out what's the best thing to do.
And that's where I told you that's where I wish I would have paid more attention, because let me tell you from experience, like you said, it was all over the place.
Sure.
And to try to get the companies plus candidates to that and try to how to sell it to both, whether you have it both on the front page when you sign into resultstaff.com and you see what we provide, but also trying to get the candidates to go to the other page to see what the jobs are posted. And,
Sure. Sure.
Because the cost of, yourself, like Indeed and Career, all those costs are high, and the ROI on that anymore, everybody's complaining at the cost. And I kept saying, are you better off taking your revenue and putting it into your webpage more, or on the job boards? Because like logistics and everything else, social media that's what you need.
Let me say this for a second. Let's go back to the common sense theory that BeeSeen.
Right.
If you have a company, what you need to grow your company is clients.
Right.
If you don't have new clients, you have a company dying slowly. Because eventually companies get bought up, they get sold out, people retire, and your client base starts to dissipate.
Right.
So the mindset that we have is, let's build from what you have. If you've got a website, let's improve it, let's upgrade it, let's renew it. Then let's do the lead generation to find your clients. Because when you've got new clients coming in and you've got added revenue coming in and you've got more, as I like to say, more opportunity, you then can expand out. Then we do social media campaigns. Then we do, the other reach outs that you could work with. But if you don't have a budget to build off of, then what do you have to market your company?
Right. And that makes total sense when you say it like that. Because I think a lot of people, like when I look up staffing agencies, these are, in the Lehigh Valley, and I can tell nobody's changed it. Nobody's touched it.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. You've been in the Lehigh Valley for 12 years, 15 years, and you have 8 reviews.
Exactly.
Do you see the reviews? Like, how do you approach in a company? What do you recommend for the reviews? If they're bad, if they're, you know what I mean? You see a lot of them, and I get it. In some industries, you're going to have people that complain and everything. But do you help companies with that, like a reputation, or how do you help them?
We do a reputation management. We do a review management for clients. There are days now that if you remember going into stores or restaurants, and they'll say to you, they'll hand you a receipt, and they'll say, if you fill out the review at the bottom, X, Y, and Z will happen. Or you're on the phone with your insurance company and they'll say, you know, at the bottom, once this call is over, there'll be a 5-question review. They do that because they want to improve internally. But they also do that because when someone goes up onto Google or someone goes onto any of the search engines and looks for the reviews, those reviews they believe are the most valued product. And the best way to have a good review is to monitor those reviews and make sure that they work in a certain aspect. We have a whole review management project that, again, we could, if this show was a marathon, we could talk hours on it.
I can imagine what you can do for that, you know. And we are definitely going to have another show on the RPA and everything, because I'm interested in that.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, we can have one that I can research into that more. But I want to thank you so much. You know, it's almost 30 minutes. Wow. And thank you for taking your time, you know, and it's been a great, you know, what I tell people is it's just like yourself is look how you're giving free information, value. You know, you're showing value. And I've learned so far is if you show a client or customer what you have, I've been getting better feedback.
Sure.
You know, by putting out there online what you do, how you do it. And I always say, will they do it? No. Like social media, they're not. They might say, "Wow, that's a great idea," but they're not going to do it. You know.
Let me ask you this question. Have you ever gone to a doctor and the doctor gives you a prescription, and then you tell the doctor, "No, that's not the right prescription. Let me do it. Let me take it the way I want to take it, but expect the results that you could give me if I took it the way you took it." That's what the world is like. That's what clients, when we deal with clients and I tell them, here's the process. Here's a proven process. We're going to go down this road these ways. And the client comes back and goes, nah, I don't want to do it. I'm going to do it this way, but I want the same result. You know, I would love to cook a turkey in 15 minutes and think it tastes the same way it did after I cooked it for 8 hours. That's
awesome. It breaks it down when you say it like that. When you talk it like that, it does make sense. You know, the doctor, and I really see what you're saying there. And I think a lot of people will understand that also. But thank you. And if you want to just, if you had a recommendation or you could say anything right now to anybody listening out there, you know, what would you say about websites and what you do?
I would say put it in people's hands that you could trust best. Don't try to do it yourself. I can cook a steak. I'm not opening up a steakhouse.
Right.
Well, I can work on my car. I'm not going to become a race car mechanic. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you want to grow your business, give somebody like BeeSeen Solutions a call. Give us the opportunity. The call is free and the information is priceless at the end.
And everybody can see that right on the thread. You know, please reach out. There's the office number extension and Pat's email. So I want to thank you again so much. I really appreciate it. We're coming back in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about it.
Dave, I'm available. I love speaking with you. Again, a man of the military. I thank you for your service, for what you do. You're a superhero that's walking the streets every day, and I'm grateful to know you.
I appreciate it. And everybody, thanks for coming on. We're just going to end it with this video here, and then we're going to talk for 1 minute right after.